Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're ready for another cabinet tour video in which I will show you how we turned this into this. As the title says, the cabinet itself and the accessories was no more than 300 bucks, which I think it's quite fascinating given the size of the cabinet, and I think it's quite stylish and looks really good. So we were quite happy when we found it in Winners. Actually, I think the OG price was 700 something, and then we purchased it for 130 bucks. So yeah, I think it's really cool. So in the first half of the video, I will show you how we set up the cabinet. It's gonna be sped up, so don't expect it to be very lengthy, but if you're not interested in that, you can skip to the part where I show you my very interesting and very gorgeous plants. Some of them are recent purchases, some of them I've had them for months now. Yeah, I hope you will enjoy this video. Let's get started. So before we dive deeper into my plants specifically, let me give you an overview and an overall look of my cabinet. So on this shelf, I have my anthuriums and mostly my philodendrons, but truth be told, I only have alocasias, philodendrons, and anthuriums, mostly 99% in this cabinet. And I opened the door, so the humidity dropped a little bit, but I would say without my humidifier, it's usually between 60 to 70% of humidity. But I don't always use my humidifier. It really depends. But these plants are all forgiving and they are not really fussy about the humidity and everything like that. Okay, I'm gonna take them out because it's easier like that than holding my camera and then holding the plant in my other hand. So we will start from that corner. This is my Philodendron Squamiferum, and this is a recent addition to my collection. If you have seen my Aquagenera unboxing and Calgary Expo video, I featured that plant. I featured this plant in that video. This is the newest leaf, and I just love this plant so much, mostly because it grows really fast for me, and I love the shape of the leaves, the lobes, and just the overall look of the plant. And it has a very similar petiole as the Philodendron fuzzy petiole, which I have and I will show you. And also very similar and resembles a Philodendron verrucosum. And the newly emergent leaf is always this neony, very light green, which I really like. And then with time, it's gonna turn into this darker red. Why am I saying red? Darker green color. And for now, I just want to grow this plant like this. But if you have this plant, you feel free to give it a moss ball and it will give you much larger leaves. Next one is my Maranta Kim Beauty, and I know this plant has another more scientific name. I will Google it and put it on the screen for you. But it's a variegated Maranta and I love it so much. It used to live outside of my cabinet, but I felt like it's not really enjoying itself. So I decided to put it in my cabinet, and I don't really want to lose the variegation on this plant. So I thought giving it more light would definitely be a great idea. And this is my favorite leaf there. This has the most beautiful variegation. It's a bit of a slow grower for me, but it's definitely gotten more lush. The next one is a Hoya, a silvery Hoya. This is my Hoya Lacunosa mint coin. I know my pronunciation is not perfect, sorry about that. But this is she. This is also a Calgary Expo purchase. And you guys, I have to tell you, look at that. I didn't know that Hoyas could develop area roots. But since I have such a nice humidity and temperature in my cabinet, it pushed out a lot of area roots, which will make it easier for me to propagate. So yeah, I love this one so much. And actually I'm testing this self-watering pot. So it's a very simple, it has wicks and then this is how it looks. I think it's the smallest size available. I purchased this from Amazon. I will put the link in the description box below. And so it has a little hole in it. So when I show you at the beginning of this video that I ordered magnetic shelves, so those shelves come with this little like hooks, and so you can basically just hang this self-watering pot. And so far so good. I don't have any bad experience with with this pot. And so just to be clear, I'm not using pon, I'm using chunky soil mix with my self-watering system, which is a little bit different because I know most people use self-watering pots with pon. So I was a little bit hesitant to try to do it because you need to be really mindful with if you mix your own chunky mix, you need to be mindful of the ratios because some ingredients hold moisture way more than other. So even with self-watering system, there's a high chance that you may rot your plant. But this mix and the self-watering pot has been working great for me. So let me show you my anthuriums. This is my Anthurium Crystallinum, and I think this is the newest leaf. It's still hardening off. This is the newest leaf before this leaf. And overall, this plant is such an easygoing, fast grower, for me at least, because I know for some people anthuriums are quite finicky. And don't even get me started on my queen anthurium, which I imported from and ordered from Equagenera. Well, I almost killed it. I basically rotted the entire plant. The only healthy section of the plant I've left is this size of a stem, which I'm trying to propagate currently. But I'm so grateful that all of the other anthuriums I have are quite easygoing. And she's in chunky mix, which you can't really see. As in fact, in camera, it almost looks like just a regular soil mix, but it's not. It has some leca in it. And yeah, you can see the root system is quite substantial. So yeah, I love this plant so much. The other anthurium, which has been quite easygoing for me, is my Forgetii. And I'm just very impressed by how much this plant sized up for me. And I don't know what happened here, but look at the teeny tiny baby anthurium there. How cute is that? Yeah, this is the newest leaf. It's still light color and still hardening off. Yeah, and as you can see, it's flowering, but I haven't tried pollinating it, especially because I feel like this flower is so tiny. I just didn't feel like doing it. But yeah, it's in the same chunky mix, and it's got some nice healthy root system. Now the other anthurium, I have to tell you, from all of my anthuriums, I currently have 4, including the import. This one is my favorite. This is my Anthurium Villenaorum. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I will put the name on the screen for you. This is the newest leaf. And same thing, so sorry, a fungus gnat. Same thing, this guy has been so easygoing with me, and then it's just sizing up so nicely. These two are original leaves, and then these two are newest leaves, and these two grown out in my care, and it's flowering, and I just love this plant so much. The only issue I'm having is I don't know how I should grow it. Should I put it on a moss bowl, or should I just let this one be? Because it's in this corner right here, and I feel like it's looking quite great in that corner, but I don't know, I just feel like it's a bit all over the place. No? I don't know. We'll see. You guys, I have to tell you, Alocasias used to be my favorite plant genus within the Oroid family, but I feel like I'm developing a sweet spot for philodendrons, and I don't know, I'm just falling in love with philodendrons more and more. But I know it's always changing for us plant enthusiasts, but currently philodendrons are my favorite. Let me show you my Philodendron el Choco Red. This is the newest leaf. Beautiful. Look at that heart-shaped leaf and the texture, so velvety. And juvenile El Choco Reds have red undersides, and it's working on a new leaf there. Same thing as with the Anthuriums. This plant has sized up so well for me in the past few months. So these leaves here, these smaller, a little bit damaged leaves, were the original leaves. And then you can see like these that I'm holding and shaking, this are all newer leaves and were grown out in my care. And yeah, I think this is one of my favorite philodendrons. I have acquired a few philodendrons in the past few months, so it's really hard to decide which one is my favorite, but this is in the top 5 for sure. Okay, I'm really excited about the next one. This is my Philodendron Dean McDowell, and I featured this plant in 2 different videos, I believe. But I remember I featured this one in my very first. So I have been struggling with this plant. This plant has been just stalling on growth for some reason. And up until yesterday, I thought that this would never ever grow well for me. And so basically what I did is just, I repotted this plant and I've treated this plant more than twice for root rot. And I think I got this a couple of months ago, and I had to actually cut off a couple of leaves because they were damaged. And so this is the only leaf that I got since it's been in my care. But you guys, I just noticed that this guy pushed out new roots. Oh, can you believe it? So this is why I am so excited about this, because I know if a plant goes dormant for some reason, and actually it's a great advice for you if you're a beginner. So if you have a plant that is in dormancy and then nothing really changes, it's not growing, there is even a cataphil here. It's been here for, oh my gosh, since I have this plant, and it's not really growing. And so the point is, if you notice new roots growing out, that's a good sign that it's actually gaining its energy back. And once it's established in your pot, it's gonna put its energy into pushing out new leaves. So I'm very excited about this because it's still a gorgeous plant, but you can see that the leaves are quite D-shaped, and it's just not really it. And there are actually a couple of nodes there. So there's one there, so, and then one there. So I'm sure that there are at least 3 growth points. And I'm just very excited about this one because I want to love this plant. But I mean, if you have unsuccess with a plant, it's so easy to fall out of love with them, right? So yeah. Okay, the next one, I don't even want to talk about the next one, but it's in my cabinet, so I have to show you, right? I'm talking about that one. You guys, do you know which one is that? If you watch my Aquagenera video, you might know which one is that. Aha! No one told me that rehabbing and acclimating imports is traumatizing for real, especially if you're a beginner. So this is my Philodendron Varicosum Amazon Sunset, and yeah, it's down to 0 leaves. I mean, there is a cataphil here. I received this plant with this cataphil, so it's not new, but the tip of it dried off. So yeah, I realized that many people suggest to put imports in sphagnum moss to, acclimate them, to help them develop new roots, to provide airflow and moisture at the same time. But I feel like, because that's what I've done, that's what I did exactly. I did everything by the book. I did everything correctly. I provided every necessary conditions for the plant to be able to adjust quickly. But still, the only plant from my imports that survived, I mean, all of them survived, but the only plant that has one single leaf is my Philodendron Squamiferum citrus variegated, which is here, you can see, but I will show it. So I realized that putting an import in sphagnum moss for a few weeks or months while they are stressed, and let them adjust to those conditions being in sphagnum moss, and then when the plant is stable enough, repotting them in chunky or whatever substrate you prefer. I think that's not the best advice. It might work for you guys, but it's just not working for me. I feel like, why would I stress out the plant twice? So I wasn't really able to control the level of moisture and the necessary airflow for my imports in sphagnum moss. So that's why some of them rotted. That's why some of them dried out. So I figured I'm gonna use chunky mix and I'm gonna stress them out now and wait for a couple of months to for the plants to bounce back. But the point is, I just don't feel like doing 2 steps while you can do 1 step, and I'm able to control the level of moisture better in my chunky mix. So that's what I'm doing. It's in a clear plastic pot, and I just recently switched from bamboo sticks to this new acrylic stake, and I feel like this one looks so much better than the bamboo sticks. And not only that, but I used to buy my bamboo sticks from Amazon. No, not Amazon, sorry. From Dollarama, but it's seasonal, so I can't really get bamboo sticks anymore in Dollarama. So yeah, but I like this acrylic stake. Looks really stylish. You can't even see, you can't really notice it. So yeah, the stem is quite wrinkly, but it's a sign of stress, but it's firm. So it's all good. I can't wait to see the new roots to show up really, because when you're excited about a plant and it's just, you know very well that it's gonna go downhill, the only thing I can do is just hope for the best. This is my Alocasia Brancifolia, and the one thing I've learned about this plant so far is that even though it likes plenty of light, it doesn't like to be close to the grow lights. I kept this guy in my rootstock cabinet, and there was maybe like this distance from the grow light, and as you can see, it bended a little bit. The leaves showing signs of discomfort, I would say, not stress, but it just doesn't really like to be that close to the grow light. So that's why I decided to put her here. So there's plenty of space between the leaves and the grow light. And this is the newest leaf. And I was able to harvest 3 corms, which is quite good because this plant is still juvenile. I'm not saying that all the corms were the juicy ones. They were all smaller ones. But I mean, I'm happy, and look at the roots. I'm telling you, Foliage Focus is such a great fertilizer. I haven't really tried other premium quality fertilizers. This is the first one, but I don't feel like switching it because I can see that mostly my alocasias, but all of my plants love it. I'm actually wanting to get the variegated version of this guy. I will put that plant on my wish list for sure. Ooh, the next philodendron is, oh my gosh, my other obsession. This is my Philodendron fuzzy petiole, and this is the newest leaf. I don't want to talk much about this plant because I featured this in my August favorites video, but I have to tell you, this is such an underrated and beautiful plant. Oh, I'm just obsessed. It grows really fast for me. It's really lush. I love the new leaf. I love the texture. I love these ribs it has, and then I just love the light green color it has. So I'm in love with this plant. Okay, you guys, if you watch my videos, you already know this is my Alocasia Polly. And yeah, since it's been living in my cabinet, it's just sizing up quite nicely. This is the newest leaf. I love how glossy and thick these leaves are, and the veination is just so beautiful, almost like a neon green. It's quite prominent. It's really nice. It pushed out nice baby plant there. And yeah, this is my first Alocasia and my forever favorite. It's definitely in top 5 for me. Okay, this is my Alocasia. Which one is this? Alocasia Maharani. And I would say this one is a bit on the slower side when it comes to the pace of growing. However, it's currently pushing out 3 new leaves there. And I still love the texture so much. I don't know if between this and the Milo, which one would I pick for favorite, because both of them look really nice. I really want the variegated version of this, but it's so pricey. So it's definitely not something that I'm gonna acquire in the next year for sure, but it's on my wish list for sure. Not much to really say about this guy. The only thing I can say, you guys, I have crazy fungus gnat infestation. It's almost like an invasion. I've just taken out the yellow fungus gnat traps because it doesn't really look good on camera and on my video, but I'm trying my best. So not much to say about this. If you want a more unique looking, easygoing Alocasia, I can definitely recommend this guy because there's nothing really difficult about it. If you watched my previous video, the moss ball project video, you probably already seen these two guys. So this is my Philodendron Splendid and my Syngonium, hang on. Okay, it's all good. My Syngonium Black Velvet or Wendlandii. Not much to say about this guy. It's pushing out a new leaf there. The newest leaf is here. So I'm just basically waiting for them to adjust to the new condition and being on a moss ball. I'm really waiting for this one to size up because I feel like right now I'm just not really passionate about this plant just yet, because I like the plant itself. I like the very light green, almost creamy whitish main vein in the middle, and then the dark, really velvety leaves. But I just feel like I really want to see that size up. And actually it's working on a new leaf there. So yeah, not much to say about these guys. The hero of the show. This is one of the imports, my Philodendron Plomanii citrus variegated. And I mentioned in my previous video that I don't really see the citrus variegation. Well, that's changed. I do see the citrus variegation now, because I was surfing on the internet and came across a mature Philodendron Plomanii, the non-variegated version. And that's when I could really tell apart how like an original non-variegated and a variegated version looks like. But it's down to 1 leaf. But it's still holding on for me. There is this cataphil here, which is still very firm. And yeah, I'm just really waiting for new roots to show. So yeah, I'm just really grateful that at least this guy is holding on for me. The very last plant from this top shelf is my Alocasia Red Secret. I wouldn't say that I have much issues with this plant. Well, it's definitely a spider mite magnet for sure. There isn't a single leaf that's not damaged by spider mites, like you can see there. But the thing is, I repotted this plant a couple of months ago and it didn't take it well. In fact, I think it's gone dormant up until maybe like 2 weeks ago. It's pushing out a new leaf there, but I would say relatively it's a small grower for me. I do love the ribs and the texture this guy has and the iridescence, alien looking, or it almost not alien looking, but it's also reminding me of a bug, like a back of a bug, if that makes sense. It's finally bounced back and started to grow again. But yeah, I'm hoping for the best and we'll see what's gonna happen. So about those magnetic shelves that I have, I'm quite satisfied. It holds very strongly and firmly onto the wall of the cabinet. And yeah, I almost have to like use all my force to take it off of the wall of the cabinet. But yeah, I'm very satisfied with it, and it can actually hold to, I think it's a 5-inch pot, 5.5-inch pot, and it can actually hold 2 of these pots. So yeah, I'm very satisfied. You guys, I was talking for like 10 minutes when I noticed that I paused recording. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the lower section. I think majority of my favorites are in this section, but it's just it's so annoying that I started to talk without actually recording. Okay, so let's start over. So this is my variegated Alocasia fried, and it's actually 2 separate plants. I ordered another, so I'm currently testing 4 different self-watering pots, and this is the second type, and this is a very popular self-watering pot. I'm sure you guys have already seen this pot. This is the water level indicator, and then you can just pull this out. This is the actual pot, and then this is the cash pot, if you will. You fill it with water, and these legs work as the wick system, if you will. And I'm using my chunky mix. And let me show you my absolute favorite leaf on this plant. So beautiful. Spider mites drive me crazy, that's for sure. So as for spider magnets in my collection, this plant is definitely in the top 5, along with my Jacqueline Alocasia and the one that I showed you, the Red Secret, the Cupria. And not only that, but it's so difficult to notice those puckers on these leaves because they're basically invisible. So this plant is one of the most sensitive plants to inconsistent watering, over and under watering. That's why I decided to put the 2 guys together, and I think it's really enjoying this self-watering setup. I want to show you there's actually a pop in this pot which only pushes out white leaves, and there's another pop there. Sorry for my dog. She's outside on the balcony and she barks at the neighbors. Little bastard. See? So yeah, and it's actually working on a new leaf somewhere I saw. Where is it? Oh yeah, there. One leaf is dying, but that's fine, that's natural. So I am really satisfied with how this plant looks currently. It's beautiful. I think this plant is such like a classic plant. I'm sure that each and every plant enthusiast have this plant in their collection. And the other plant that it's very sensitive to inconsistent watering, and also in the top 5 spider mite magnets from my collection, is my Alocasia Jacqueline. It's currently down to 2 leaves, unfortunately. This plant used to be my absolute favorite, most desired, sought after plant that I really wanted. I got this in the beginning of May, And I got this plant as a very lush and full plant. I think I got 2 or 3 separate plants in one pot. So I decided to sell one, and then I kept 2. So I had maybe like 5 or 6 leaves. And I noticed that it started to slowly dropping leaves. Before dropping the leaves, first they discolored, they got these yellow patches. I'm not sure it was a fungal issue. It was mostly an inconsistent watering issue. This is the method that I use for propagations, rehabs, or plants that are very, very fussy when it comes to inconsistent watering. I feel like this method is really, really great for root development and also controlling moisture levels. I did say that with my imports, I wasn't really able to control the moisture and everything like that with this setting, but I think that was different because all the other plants that I have, and I keep them like this, are doing really, really good. You can see new roots there forming, and I feel like with the leca reservoir, it's more like it works like a self-watering system in a way that you don't need to consistently check on the level of moisture the sphagnum moss has, because it can always pull water up from the leca reservoir. So I decided to do that, and it's been quite stagnant. Up until 2 days ago, I noticed that it's actually finally working on a new leaf there. And I'm very, very, very excited because, as I said, this plant used to be one of the plants that I was the most excited about. And I really, really, really want to grow this plant as big as possible. Like, the mature form of this plant looks extremely cool for me, in my opinion. It's so sad when you get a plant you are very excited about and you just slowly lose interest because you haven't really figured out the care it needs or things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really, really want to fall in love with this plant again. And it can only happen if it starts doing something for me. Okay. And actually, this is the part where I noticed that I'm not recording. So this is my Alocasia aegis, which I'm sometimes contemplating if it's Alocasia dragon scale. It's just a marketing or a sales pitch to sell it as a different Alocasia. I don't know. But regardless of that, this is the newest leaf, and you can't tell me it's not beautiful. This very textured, thick leaf, the color is very striking, and those side veins on the edge on the leaf is just really, really cool. I love this tiny, very not quite remarkable lobe here. It's really, really cute. So this is the other type of self-watering pot I'm testing. It works with the big system, and it's actually cool because you can actually see the level of water. There is a chance of algae buildup, but oh, look at that. There's actually a root there. It's dropping the older leaves, but it's fine. I just love this plant so much. How cool is that? You might be familiar with this guy here from my previous video, the moss ball project. I had to cut off one leaf which yellowed off. It hasn't rooted into the moss, I think, but I haven't really checked. Okay, let me do that now. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. But I mean, I think I filmed that video maybe a week and a half ago, so it's fine. Still got some time, but not much to say about this plant really. Okay, let's continue with this guy. This is my Alocasia Milo. Hang on. Okay, so I took a short break and I quickly set off my ring light because I realized that the lighting was quite crappy. So this is my Alocasia Milo, and I know I always say this to all alocasias that they are the coolest alocasia, but can't you tell how cool is that? Look at the veins. The veins are kinda sunken into the leaf, and I love the rough textured leaves, and it's almost like plastic and it's quite rigid. You can barely fold it, and I wouldn't even try because you might break it, but this alocasia is such an easygoing one. However, it throws me off a little bit because it looks like it's crawling. Yeah, I could very easily propagate this guy because can you see those tiny roots there? I could basically chop off the rhizome and propagate it, but I just really don't want to do it because it's been giving me a lot of joy and it's really rewarding to grow this plant. You would think that since it looks really cool and very unique looking and everything, it would be a fussy, finicky, annoying plant to grow, but not really. And there is a new leaf growing there, and I know I said this as well, but I really want the variegated version of this. Can you imagine? They're so freaking pricey. It's a really great investment plant for sure. This guy here is my Philodendron White Wizard. And I was so freaking unfortunate with this plant because you can see here and there, well, there was supposed to be 2 new leaves emerging from there, and one I broke off and the other one just basically broke off by itself. I didn't do anything with it, but I don't know if you can see, but there's so many freaking area roots there and there. It's just really, I used to keep it on my nightstand so it was in ambient conditions, but I feel like it's benefiting from keeping it in my cabinet. But there is a new leaf growing there, so I mean, yeah, even though I broke off 2 leaves, it's fine. And my favorite thing about this plant is there's a tiny little leaf there which is half moon. It's so cute. It's not sizing up at all, but it's there. Oh, actually, look at that. There is a new leaf here, but it's stuck. But I swear to God, I won't touch it. I won't touch it. If it's stuck, it's gonna stay stuck. I don't care. I contemplating if I should put this guy on a moss bowl or not, but I reached my limit when it comes to maintaining moss bowls, and just space-wise, I don't really have much space left. And my next project is gonna be styling that plant wall that I told you about in my previous video in my living room. So I'm gonna have to do that. And I have another project actually. I came across a giant fish tank on Facebook Marketplace, and I want to build a beautiful terrarium. And I'm not a begonia girl myself, but I feel like that fish tank would look really cool if I filled it with rare begonias. I recently came to the realization that I don't really want to invest in common regular houseplants because there are so many rare houseplants out there that are more pricey. At this stage, I feel like paying more than $100 for a plant is nuts. But on the other hand, I feel like I'm kind of getting to that point where I would rather pay $100 or $200. I think $200 is my limit right now. So I would rather pay $100 or $200 for a plant that is truly unique and rare, because I realized that I got into this plant hobby and I felt like I had to get them all, right? Like they were freaking Pokemons. And soon I realized, once I reached my limit space-wise and I didn't really have any space left for new plants, I realized that some of these plants in my collection, I wouldn't say I don't like them, but I just don't appreciate them as I would appreciate a rare plant, if that makes sense. I guess that's kind of the natural way it goes with this hobby. I don't know. Okay, so this guy, you know, this is my Cebu Blue Pothos. Not much to say about this guy. If you want to hear my thoughts more on this dude, you might want to check out my Moss Ball project video. It's I spilled the soil a little bit. I think it went into my cappuccino as well. Never mind. It's a little bit weird growing this guy in, because it's not on a moss ball, right? It's my chunky mix. It's kind of weird to do it. I feel like it's a little bit messy, but for now it's all right. I just want to try it. I feel like it holds more moisture. I like this. Okay, this is my Philodendron Majestic. That leaf is my favorite. Look at that leaf. Hello, baby. Hi. Give me a kissy. Oh. What I was gonna say. It hasn't rooted into the moss yet. So yeah, not much to say about this plant. This is in my top 5 philodendron. I might do a philodendron collection video. Would you be interested in that? Because I know alocasias are more interesting for people. Okay, I have to show you this guy here. This is my Alocasia Zabrina. I believe I featured this one in my August favorites. It hasn't given me any new leaves since then. But yeah, the acrylic stake works really well with this plant. I might have to repot this guy. I like to keep my alocasias tight in their pot, but I feel like it drinks up water so quickly. It might benefit from just a new substrate, I guess. I love the stripy zebra-like stems, and if you're looking for an alocasia that's easygoing and grows fast and grows large, then I recommend this guy. And yeah, you're gonna be freaking surprised when I tell you that I would love to have the variegated version of this guy. Okay. This is my Philodendron SP Columbia Silver. This is the newest leaf, and I know it's not perfect, but look at those tones. Look at the silvery sheen and the silvery tone and the veination. Oh my gosh, and the pillowiness. Oh, I had this type of philodendron, but I sold it because I only had one, because it just didn't really grow for me, and I have no regrets because I got this guy and it's been growing so much better for me. There is actually a new leaf there. I'm really curious to see. I really want this plant to grow. This is definitely in my top 5 philodendron. It looks extremely good. However, it throws me off a little bit because it's supposed to be a climber, isn't it? You tell me, but it looks like it's one to crawl. No, is it just me? Am I tripping? I don't know. Regardless, I don't care. I don't really have any problem with crawlers. I know they take up too much space and most people don't really prefer crawlers over climbers. But I don't really have much problem with them, I guess mostly because they are not going too big for me, I guess. There's only one plant this guy. Oh, this guy I don't want to talk about just yet because that's a secret project of mine, if you will. And I want to do a separate video on that one. So let's just pretend you guys didn't see this one. Let's continue with this. This is the latest Alocasia addition to my collection. This is my Alocasia. Oh my lord. Oh. Okay. That is a gross amount of fungus gnat that just emerged out of the soil. I really need to take care of that. So this is my Alocasia Black Diamond, or also known as the Nebula. Do I have to say anything else? Look at that leaf. Just look at it. Reminds me, like the shape of the leaf kind of reminds me a dragon. I love the deep lobe and the veination. Oh, this side veination is very similar to, where is it? To my Aegis. Look at that. Oh. You know what? I might be stupid falling harder for philodendrons. I'm maybe realizing right now that I'm still in love with alocasias more. Who knows? It keeps changing. I love the stems. So there's like a neon green base color, and then these purplish brownish speckles. It's really interesting. One thing it's really annoying is this residue. So this is how I got this from my local garden center, and I tried to remove it with dish soap, alcohol, neem oil, water, distilled water, everything, and it just doesn't seem to be coming off. I don't know what's that residue, truly. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm in love with this plant. How gorgeous is that? How freaking gorgeous is that? And it's really soft and kind of, it's not glossy, it's matte, and I wouldn't say it's thick, but it's not thin either. It's, I mean, maybe the middle ground. It's the perfect leaf, I believe. Oh, and I just love it so much. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you this little guy here. So this is my Philodendron Plomanii. I actually got this plant as an established, kind of still juvenile, but established plant, and I decided to propagate it, and it was a bad decision because I rotted all the stem cuttings that I took. This is the only one that's left, and it's actually pushing out a new leaf, which I'm very happy about, and I'm really excited to see. I was actually thinking if it's a mame and not a Plomanii, but sometimes it's hard to tell apart, but I googled it and it much more looks like a Plomanii, but we'll see. Regardless, I'm excited about this guy and we'll decide if I keep it or not, because I'm satisfied with the Plomanii I have, if it survives. Okay. So this is my Philodendron Melanochrysum, and it's kind of working on a new leaf. I don't know if it's gonna ever emerge or not. For me, it's kind of difficult to grow this plant. It roots into the moss very quickly. Like this is the newest spot that it rooted into the moss, you can see. So propagation wise, it's really easy to propagate this plant on a moss bowl, but as for sizing up and as for new growth and new leaves, it's really difficult to get this plant to that point to actually push out a new leaf that's completely healthy and not deformed and not D-shaped. it's quite difficult, but I'm not complaining. I'm happy that it's still with me, unlike my imports that I ordered. Ignore the dirtiness. You guys, this is my Alocasia Dragon's Breath. I recently harvested one juicy corm, and I recently ordered stratum, specifically the fluval stratum, because everyone keep telling me that it's the black magic and it's the most perfect substrate for Alocasia corms to get them sprout, because I've been struggling with freaking Alocasia corms to get them sprout, and I was glad to be able to harvest a corm, because yeah, this is a very precious plant to me. I know it's kind of available now, but still, and you guys, it grows so fast, like amazing. This is the newest leaf. This is the most perfect in color and in shape as well. But this is definitely resembles a dragon head for sure, or some kind of mystical creature. And it's quite large, so there are so many pups. So there's one pup here. Oh, and there is actually a new leaf there. Oh, so cute. So yeah, I'm very satisfied and still very enthusiastic about this plant. And I'm just really looking forward to see this one grow. This guy is my Alocasia Lukivan. I keep this one in this setup similarly to my Alocasia Jacqueline. This guy was also very sensitive to inconsistent watering, and since then, look at the root system. It's crazy. This is such a great setup for if you want your plant to develop a strong established root system. So I'm not really passionate about this plant, truly. I featured this one in my Facebook Marketplace kind of vlog video, and this was supposed to be a green shield Alocasia, but soon we realized with the seller that it's not a green shield. It's a cross between an Alocasia sinuata and something else, I don't know. I do love the shape of the leaves. You can definitely see the sinuata characteristics on the leaf, how textured it is and how deeply sunken the veins into the leaf tissue. It can actually grow really large, like the mature form of this plant is quite large. So it's just bounced back recently, so I can't really tell you much about the growth pace and like other habits of this plant. You guys let me know if you have this Alocasia in your collection and what's your experience with them. I'm curious. So we have 3 plants left and I don't feel like taking them out, so I'm just gonna switch angles. Yeah, as I said, please ignore the dirt. So this guy was part of my moss ball project. This is my Philodendron glorious. Nothing new to really say about this one. There is a new leaf there. It hasn't rooted into the pole, but I'm really curious and interested to see how it's gonna do. I have to be careful. This is my Epipremnum pinnatum albo, and keeping moss balls and other plants in a cabinet is kind of messy, and yeah, it's crunchy, so I have to water it. Same thing, so not much to say about this guy. I'm just checking in if it's rooted. No, but there is actually a chunky area root there. I might have to just stick it there. And that is my, which one is this? My Philodendron. Oh, Philodendron. Gosh, I forgot. what the hell? Ornatum, Philodendron ornatum silver, giant silver, that is, yeah. I feel like this plant is still kind of figuring out life. I feel like it's not the healthiest specimen. This is the newest leaf. I don't even understand this color and the shape. But I'm hoping once it's rooting into the moss, it will get more energy from it. Yeah. Now that I have most of my plants out of the cabinet, I might clean it. Before I finish this video, I wanted to show you my newest philodendron that I picked up today. This is my Philodendron serpens. I love the glossiness of the leaves and the heart kind of shape with the mix of elongated shape, the fuzzy petioles. And I think I will grow this guy on a moss bowl because I really want to see the leaves size up a little bit. So yeah, as I said, I picked this plant up. I kind of set a limit for myself to control my spending, and also I feel like as I said earlier, I reached my limit, I believe, space-wise, and just, it's getting harder and harder to be able to not only taking care of these plants, but paying attention to them. You know what I mean? And just really appreciate them. Because me personally, like for myself, I'm prone to hoarding and not hoarding, sorry, splurging, and then forget about them, which is sad because at the end of the day, you get plants so that you can grow them, raise them, take care of them, and that's the point. For me, I really want that to be the point, if that makes sense. So I set a limit for myself to control my spending and control the amount of plants that I bring home. I need to stay realistic, right? Like I can't promise myself that, okay, now I won't buy any new plants for 2 months because let's be honest, that's ridiculous, right? I would never, ever keep that promise because I just can't. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you find some inspiration and get some great ideas, whether it be a cabinet setup or new addition to your collection. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more plenty content from me. You guys take care, be well, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye!